Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome to episode 171.
You actually said it. We couldn't fumble
Episode
that.
171 of the...
See, that was the flip side. I didn't say what it was. I just said it's
Whatever.
episode 171.
Damn, listeners really be watching 171 episodes and not knowing what this show is.
It's episode
Damn.
171 of...
One Piece.
That's true. It could be.
My buddy sent me a meme this morning where it was like someone the Men in Black at the end where it's like Smith or Jay asks K like, oh, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Only if you're strong enough. And it's like people who want to tell their other friends to watch One Piece. I was like, damn. Is it worth it? Only if you're strong enough.
My other friend group, they're like, if you watch the live action before the anime, I'm gonna smack you. And I just looked, I'm like, I'm not watching either.
Speaking of friends, we should introduce the other friends on this podcast.
Why? Freeman was a good said it right, okay? If they don't know us by 171 episodes.
Okay.
But for that one list, that one person who randomly clicked
go
on this in the recommended feed.
So jumping right into the news.
Damn.
Yeah, they'll learn through context clues, Tim.
Context clues. So, boy, I didn't realize until we got on the podcast and we were getting ready to record, and Freeman's like, hey, there was a trailer for a new Godzilla thing. And I was like, oh. And then I looked at it, and then I watched it, and then it was like, oh, there's also a trailer for that Apple TV show. And oh, I had never watched the teaser for the next movie. So it's Godzilla time. So about a week ago, I legitimately had not heard about this. So the next Japanese Godzilla movie was announced. I don't know what the heck this title means, but Godzilla -1.
So as far as I can tell, unlike the more recent Godzilla movies like Shin Godzilla that were modern era, this one is taking place during the same time frame as the original. So
yeah,
like
this
a
seems
post-World
like
War
an
II
OG
Japan.
Godzilla like remakey kind of thing. So
So
maybe
it's like they wanted to do Godzilla 0, but they're like, we may have already done something like that and can't get the license to it. So
Well, they
Godzilla
definitely already have.
-1.
Which is weird, but whatever. I mean, it's still cool. The trailer looks awesome. Tyler, did you watch this?
I realized I didn't. I did. I did. Honestly, this is gonna sound some fucked up shit. I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, but I don't care if it's Japanese Godzilla.
No, that's fair. That's fair, man.
These American Godzilla movies are too fire for me to really get into any of these other ones.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, I did not watch Shin Godzilla, even though it's supposed to be one of the best Godzilla movies out there.
I'm sure. But does Godzilla rip a monster's mouth open and then spit fire down it? No, I don't think.
No, he doesn't do a building though.
You know what? And what does the Japanese one have that America doesn't? Because in the last one, what do we got? We got a fucking beam clash. So really, Japan has nothing that America doesn't have at this point.
Like facts though.
Speaking of American Godzilla though, we have two things in the pipeline. One of which is a little disappointing. Godzilla Legacy of Monsters coming exclusively to Apple TV, aka Tyler's gonna have it on Plex and we're gonna watch it when we're together.
I don't know what you're talking about, FBI. No idea.
Yeah, no, I have no idea what a TV series looks like in the Godzilla verse, but sure. But I had totally forgotten. I actually genuinely don't know if maybe this was in the show notes a couple months ago, but we also know that the next movie coming supposedly next year, although with all the strikes and everything, who knows, but Godzilla x Kong the New Empire sounds pretty radical. It looks like there's like some old Kong guy who's the villain. That's cool. Mechagodzilla was rad, but something new is always good. I don't know, more excuses to see these two do like the what's the word? Reluctant team up would be pretty rad. Man.
Who would they fight though?
Huh?
Who are they gonna fight though?
That's why I said no. The Kong guy isn't Kong himself. It seems like it's some ancient Kong guy who might be like a veteran of the old war or something like that. He looks like a Kong, but he's definitely like way older. He's got like red fur and shit. But
Gotcha.
I mean, Tyler and I will go see it.
I'm gonna see it. We gonna see it.
I was gonna say, Tyler, ever since we watched King of the Monsters together, after we ditched everybody else to go watch King of the Monsters, we like have to watch it together.
Yo, but I'm not gonna lie. To this day, zero regret.
Oh, I didn't say there was regret. I'm just saying we left everybody else at a big wave pool party to go watch this movie. It was great.
Cringiest wave pool I've ever been in.
Oh, listeners, listen to this, all right?
We've definitely talked about this over the years.
We probably have, but think about the context. These fucking sweaty anime nerds all in a wave pool together. Just think about that.
Tyler, come on, they all love it.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Guess what? Just Tyler does not. See, this is where the context clues come in.
That's why the context clues. That's where we made the good decision to drive 40 minutes to go see King of the Monsters together.
Mega worth.
That was great. And Godzilla versus Kong, banger.
The story was not good, but I don't go there for the story, so, you know.
Do the bad humans die? Yes, good story. Was it pretty stupid how they poured the alcohol on the thing and it shut down and worked? Yeah, it's pretty lame. But who cares?
Yeah, honestly,
when Mechagodzilla punched out of that mountain and you heard that metallic noise, that was badass.
Bruh. When what's his face from I forget which movie it was. I think it was King of the Monsters. Who was the flying one again? The one that flew, yeah. The flying monster.
Oh, Rodan.
Yeah, when Rodan did the barrel roll and just fucking aced those spider jets.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, when Godzilla turned into like nuclear Godzilla mode to take down
god.
So good in theaters.
So good.
So good. Doesn't even matter. See, people just don't get it, man. People just don't get it. They don't feel the feelings that you're supposed to feel when Godzilla rips that thing's head off and breathes atomic fire down its neck till the head burns off. Anyway, that's Godzilla time. We got good stuff coming up. Tyler and I are gonna go watch a movie next year, and at some point we'll watch a TV show together somehow.
Right.
Somehow.
Well, yeah, we got time. We can figure it out.
So I know that there's a lot of good video games that have come out recently. You know, we had Starfield. Tyler's playing. He'll talk about that later. We got Armored Core came out. We got Baldur's Gate came out. Luigi can't stop playing Baldur's Gate instead of hanging out with his friends.
Right.
But another supposedly good game came out earlier this year. Final Fantasy 16.
Damn, supposedly. I'm still only a third of the way through.
So
I
here's
haven't
the
had
thing.
time to play this at all.
I've heard a lot. So one of the podcasts I listen to every week, both guys on it have played or are playing through 16, and they both say it's good, but also way too easy. Seems to be the main complaint.
Yes. I second and third that.
Where gameplay gets boring to the point because it's so easy to play the game.
I always have to ask them the question, though, are they using the starter weapons that are meant for like people who are physically handicapped and are missing fingers? Like, because they give you that right at the beginning of the game and it completely removes the dodge mechanic from the video game. So, like, I always have to ask the question, like, are you using the busted shit you're not supposed to when people say it's too easy?
So I'll tell you this. I took it off, right? So I took it off after Act 2, and I've been playing it for the rest of the game. And I didn't start feeling the burn until, like, the last, like, very last section of the game. So overall,
it sounds like the answer is it doesn't matter.
I mean, I found that if you're not in a boss fight, it's like even without the dodge thing on, only boss fights were even remotely challenging.
So wait, you sounded like you were saying you were disagreeing, and then you're coming back saying it was right.
No, I'm saying because at the beginning of the game, it's not like the beginning was dog shit easy and then it ramps up to the boss fight. The boss fights at the beginning of the game were still challenging when it wasn't auto dodging for me.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm trying to add on to it. I'm not disagreeing.
Well, why don't you say why I bring it up in the first place, Freeman?
Anyway, so the big thing everyone's been talking about is when it first got announced, it it's PS5 console exclusive, and they said it was coming to PC, and they haven't said jack shit about the PC release since then. So a lot of people were like, "Is it canceled? Is it like a Final Fantasy VII like 1 year exclusive thing?" But it was more just that the team didn't want to have to work on the PC port until after they were done with the PS5 version.
Oh my God.
So they just didn't even announce it until after the PS5 release was done, and they could just shut up about it. So the PC release is reconfirmed. They just announced their team is starting it now. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's happening. But they also confirmed there are going to be 2 DLC packs, and that's it. There are only 2 planned, and they're not planning to do any more. For anyone who played Final Fantasy 15 with its DLC vision, might be happy to hear this, because unlike 15, 16, from what I've heard, I haven't beaten the game yet. It doesn't have any points in the game where it's like, damn, something feels like it's blatantly missing. I wonder if it's going to be DLC, like half the ones from 15. Or in the case of 15, plan this grand story that's going to tie everything together and then just cancel it because the game's not doing well. 16 was written with the idea that DLC may or may not happen. Don't count on it. Don't do it for the narrative. So the fact that we're getting 2 and only 2 just tells me that Yoshi P has way more sway at the company than I thought he did. So this should be good.
I think I have a feeling I might know. I think it's gonna be no spoilers intended. I think it's gonna be Josh.
They very well could, because he has everything pre-time skip that we don't know about, or at least from where I'm in the game, I don't know what he's been doing pre-time skip.
Yeah, I mean, you learn later on, like, kind of what he's been doing, but like, there's still so many like relationships that like he's clearly been doing stuff, right? He's been doing some shit, and like, you don't get the full picture, like even at the end, like the amount of things that he's had to do, right? Like, I think that would be kind of interesting if we saw that, like, or I wouldn't be surprised at least if we got his side of things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. I don't even remember. Did I talk about beating Final Fantasy 16? Oh no,
you have
I'm
it at the
talking
end
about
of
it later.
Yeah, you have it on the list
Yeah.
for tonight. So we're gonna hear your thoughts later.
So here's a question: what do you guys think is coming out first, the PC port of this or the next 7 piece?
I'm sure if we have a date for 7.
I genuinely don't. I thought the same exact thing as I said that.
We do, I believe. Hold on.
What the fuck is it called? I'm like FF7R2, because it's not called. It's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Rebus. Yeah, it only says early 24.
In that case, I would bet that Rebirth comes out before the PC version.
Yeah,
I don't think we're
would
getting the PC version until like March the earliest.
I don't think we are even gonna get it till second half, maybe even fourth quarter next year. If they're starting it now.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it.
Maybe it's one of those projects where you open it up in a different dev environment. You're like, oh damn, it works without needing to port anything.
Sure.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, okay.
The
hope. Not like it matters. Not like you're getting it for PC anyway.
Nah, but have you seen some of the mods they do for Final Fantasy VII Remake? Imagine what they could do here.
Tyler's like, I don't know how to answer that.
Maybe. Well, I haven't seen. I legitimately haven't seen them. I have been looking at Starfield mods.
Oh, of course.
But what am I saying? They're all big titty mods. So like,
exactly.
You know.
Tyler, quick question: is Starfield mods is Starfield still using the same engine?
No question mark. I think they are kind of,
because it seems really fast.
Yeah, I think it might be, honestly. I haven't looked into it.
Okay.
I know it's all the same. I will say Aiden did make a comment on so we all know, just a quick tangent. I mean, we can talk about it later, but like, I downloaded a mod to like redo my inventory, and Aiden's like, wait, is this just Skyfield or whatever, Sky mod or whatever for the inventory? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, this looks like the exact same shit.
Damn.
But yeah. I don't know. I mean, I did use mods in Final Fantasy 15. I thought that was kind of cool, only because I don't know. I feel like there's not like, I wouldn't care for mods as much in 16 as much as I did in 15, because like, you got the car, right? You had a bunch of characters that you got to interact with all the time. Like, you had like a full party of people. I feel like I wouldn't care as much with 16 as I did with 15. Not saying that. I think the story for me was almost about the same with 16 as 15, but like as far as modding goes, I probably wouldn't mod 16. But I'll definitely probably get the DLC when it comes out though.
Yeah. Even if it's super easy, I'm still enjoying this game very much. I would love for it to just there to be more of it. So I'll
Oh
probably buy it.
yeah, me too. I did everything just short of platinuming it.
Um,
All
I
right,
was
what's
I
like,
don't know
next?
how to transition to this, but I just wanted to bring this up because it's another chance to talk about Castlevania coming out.
oh, I don't know, video game stuff. We don't need to have crisp
Hey guys,
transitions.
you know what? You know what reminds me of video games? Shows about video games. Tim, tell us about this one.
So we already talked about Castlevania, I think literally on the last podcast, but the real trailer, the serious trailer with actual spoilers probably from the end of the show, uh, came out, and of course we all watched it. Um, there's not much else to say other than this. Like every second I see of this show, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be another great Castlevania show. This seems absolutely on point. The character designs are all really solid. All of the action seems really well done. A lot of inventive stuff. I didn't even realize, or it wasn't even in the original trailer, but one of the, what seems like the main group or one of the main ladies seems to use like light magic to create like animals made out of light that she shoots at people, like birds that zap people. Seems rad as hell. The lady crushing the vampire with the metal, with like the piece of like jail cell wall, like with the bars just
Oh
crushing
yeah,
the thing. That was awesome.
it's been like a couple weeks since I saw, so I don't remember a lot because I'm bad. But I remember
No,
enjoying it. So
the new trailer only came out a week ago.
Yeah, because we watched it like last Thursday.
Oh, did you?
Which was the day it came
Oh,
out.
Tyler, you might not have watched the new one because it came out while we were like when we were watching
Like we were
Bleach
watching
with
Bleach.
Freeman. We were about to watch Bleach, and we watched this first. It's a 2-minute 48-second trailer that came out.
oh,
I gotta
gotcha.
say, my highlight for the trailer is that the Belmont of this series isn't just mumbling every fucking line he
Oh, there he
delivers.
is.
10 out of 10. But yeah, the animation looks
Right,
static.
My name is Richter Belmont, and I kill vampires. Who's fucking next? Like that's so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
But like his whole, I think I said this after the first trailer, but like his whole design is so different from Trevor and still looks awesome. Like the bandana and the blue with the white and black trim looks great. All the ladies who are like lined up next to him in a couple of the shots just look so good. So I can't wait. I know.
It's October or
No, it's 2 weeks from Friday, I think.
damn, that's so soon.
It's the last week of September it starts. So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much October.
I hope it's 10 episodes and not like the first season of the original where it was only 4.
I feel like they're not going to. Like that was very much a feel out and see if people like
You're
it. And
not
now they're like
wrong, but
people very much like Castlevania, the
you're
show.
not wrong, but 4 episodes gets it to Halloween. So like I really hope it's not that. But
I wonder
anyway,
if they've announced this. Hold on.
huh?
I wonder if they've announced the episode count.
I don't think they have.
Were there 4 seasons of the original?
Yeah. Oh, what was it? I think it was 4 and then 3 10s. Were they all 10s after that? After the first
Yeah,
season?
it was. Yeah, it was.
But I no, you're probably right, Freeman. I'm just worried because I want to see more Castlevania, but I'm pretty positive that they wouldn't do that.
All right, according to a bullshit article on comicbook.com, it says 8 episodes. Which
Okay,
I'll take.
that's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah, there's another thread on the Castlevania subreddit saying 8.
The trailer definitely implies there's more story stuff going on than was in the first season of the first show. The first season of the first show was very, like you said, here's a pilot, and then second season was, okay, we'll finish the plot we left, and then we came up with great new plots for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens after that. Yeah, September 28th. So it's actually 2 weeks from Thursday, not 2 weeks from Friday.
Oh, did you watching this show? Did it make you guys ever want to play any of the Castlevania games?
Nope.
Yes, I remember a while ago I asked you which one should I play as the first one. I think you said Symphony of the Night.
So, yeah.
Eventually,
that's
when
the
I'm bored,
famous
that's the one I'm gonna play first.
I just know I don't have time to play games I do want to play, much less also learn to play Castlevania.
I mean, it's an easy to emulate game, so 100% for the Steam Deck.
Which I don't have.
That's a you problem, Tim.
I'm aware.
That's a you problem.
You know what I have to save for my son's college.
Well, a whole $400. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly. Tyler, with investments and return on investment, it really turns into a couple thousand. Like.
Yep.
Finance,
You're right,
bro.
Anyway, let's move on here.
Yeah, what's this other thing, Freeman?
So, story time. Back in my college days, back before Sony started like selling PS1 classics on the PlayStation Network store, one of my buddies we were arguing about like buying expensive PS1 games because at the time I think I'd bought Final Fantasy VII for like $75 or something. And he mentions they're still not selling Suidoken. And I asked him, like, what is this? And he starts describing this RPG where he's like, there's 120 different party members. Like, it's next to impossible to 100% this game. It's phenomenal. Suidoken 2 is like my favorite game of all time. And he played like every RPG. So for him to speak highly of this, I'm like, maybe I should get around to this one day. But I think it was either early this year or late last year they announced that they're remaking Suidoken 1 and 2 for, I think, Switch and PC. And I was like, all right, cool. If the remasters do well, that's probably the point where I would consider trying out these games. Realistically, I just don't have fucking time to play another long PS1 era RPG. But the big takeaway is that after hearing absolutely jack shit about these games have not been re-released anywhere, and it sounded like they weren't going to re-release them because they were remastering it. Now they're delaying the remasters to sometime in 2024. These were originally supposed to come out before the holiday this year. So, very disheartening. When will these games be made available for people to play? No one fucking knows. No one's heard of this franchise. This is just... I think Konami owns it. This is just not how to manage a franchise. So I just wanted to rant about that real quick.
What you're saying is truly mind-blowing that Konami doesn't do a good job with video game franchises anymore.
Yes. Yeah, it is Konami. Yeah. If it's any indication of how the Metal Gear remake is going to be, let's just take it for what it is. And then one more video game for 2024. I want to throw this one on here real quick. So, for anyone who doesn't know what Tskihime is, there's this tiny indie game dev company called Type Moon, who they have a couple franchises. Maybe you heard of Fate. Before they did Fate, they did
heard of Fate. Oh my god!
They did two games. They did One That Doesn't Matter, and they did Tskihime. And Tskihime has never had an English release. And then they went and remade it in Japan. And from what I've seen of the remake, this visual novel is fucking insane. And for the longest time, Type Moon just didn't release anything in English. They had a game called Witch on the Holy Night that came out for PS5, I think, last year. And they were like, guys, please buy this game because it signals to us that the rest of the world wants to play Type Moon games. And in true Weeb fashion, I fucking ignored it because it's a visual novel. But Tskihime Remake, which I didn't realize is only part 1 of 2. No one calls it by this when they're talking about it in Japan. But they finally announced it's going to come out in English, something that we did not think was going to happen. So I might actually sit down and read a full PS5 visual novel because I don't know why they won't release it for PC. Nasu is just an asshole and thinks that PC gamers suck. But we're getting an English release.
Is he wrong?
No, like I'd rather read a visual novel on my Steam Deck than have to like sit down and play it on my couch. Like the first visual novel series I ever beat was Phoenix Wright, and that shit belongs on a handheld. I'm not gonna sit down on a couch.
I still need to get through that. I need to.
You should. Still a good game. Still holds up. But
Well,
speaking of... Oh, wait.
Hey, go ahead. No. I was basically saying, I was like, I got right back to where I was in my... That was when I had it for the Switch on my Steam, and I stopped because other games came out, and I'm like, dang, this is exactly what happened the first time.
Yeah, I think the only Phoenix Wright game I've ever like stumbled during was the last one, Phoenix Wright 7. And I found that if you drop a case and have to come back to it, you're better off starting the case in the beginning because you just don't remember what's going on. You've lost the narrative, which kind of sucks, but I think it's the best way to play it.
Yeah.
Anyway, last of the remake news. Persona 3 Remake. We got a ton of new trailers. One showing off the new dub cast because they've completely recast everyone. The new dub cast sounds phenomenal. Game looks amazing, oozing with style like Persona 5. The big takeaway from all these trailers is it's coming out February 2nd. I was not expecting it to be releasing this soon.
Wow.
So, like, I thought it would be like June of next year, the earliest, but they like waited until this thing was like already, I guess, close to being done before even starting to put trailers out for it. So, good on Atlas for not pulling a Persona 5 where they released this really cryptic English trailer and then Persona 5 goes out like 10 years later. So, good on them. We just need that Persona 6 announcement.
Do you think that'll come after Persona 3 Remake comes out?
Definitely. The fact that 3 is coming out means that they are not going to announce a single new game until it's already out. So,
yeah.
February 3rd is the earliest we're hearing about Persona 6.
Freeman, how would you react if the way to watch the Persona 6 trailer for the first time is to beat Persona 3 Remake?
You mean watch on YouTube? It's same.
You mean watch on
Yes,
YouTube?
the unfortunate reality of modern society.
It's if you had to beat 3 to watch the 6 trailer, that'd be kind of wonky. But at the same time, like back in the day when Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep came out, I like went 100% to unlock the secret ending to watch the video that's supposedly alluded to Kingdom Hearts 3. But in reality, it could have just gone on YouTube the whole time and it didn't occur to me.
Yeah,
There was something about earning it that made that trailer so much better.
I went to YouTube.
You made the
It's
right
like
choice.
a piece of garbage.
As much as I love Birth by Sleep, it's not worth going through all that.
No, I don't think so. But imagine being the person who like beats Persona 3 Remake first and gets to post that trailer first. Like,
it would be super sick. Unfortunately, most of the team that worked on Persona, they announced they were leaving Atlas, and then they all got they got rehired as third-party contracts. And now they're releasing this like Re-Fantasio game, which, like, not gonna lie, straight up, it's just Persona 6 without the school. So the question is that supposed to fill the void of 6? Are we even getting 6? I don't know. But I feel like we're a long ways from an announcement now.
Gotcha.
All right.
Well, now let's stay in Japan. Man, we're doing a lot in Japan right now.
A lot of Japan.
Well, a lot of this is about Japanese shit coming to the U.S., but this one is.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk
bad
about
shit coming
this.
everywhere. Yeah, so Sony is making some questionable business decisions, and I'd like to talk about them real quick. The first one, this one impacts me at least, is PlayStation Plus is going up 33% in price just across the board.
That's a lot.
Even the most basic one, where you just get like the one free game a month as long as you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber plus online multiplayer access, it's going from 60 a year to 80 if you're not getting it on sale, and that feels too much for what you're getting.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't pay for any of the extra tiers. I pay just basic just to get that like one free game a month.
So do you keep that? I always forget. Do you keep that? Like, if you just are paying for this, when the game comes out, you just get it?
As long as you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you can play any game that you've claimed as a free PlayStation Plus game,
so
including like
cancel, they're all gone.
Yeah. You don't have them unless you're
that makes
subscribing.
sense.
But like, I don't think you can collect it anymore. But like, when the PS5 had just come out, there was this whole pack of like the best-selling games of PS4. So there was like 30 games that you just got. So like, I have a decent-sized library of PlayStation Plus games that I have access to as long as I stay a subscriber. What it realistically means is I'll unsubscribe, and then when I finally, for some reason, don't have any video games to play, which is never gonna fucking happen, seriously, I can resubscribe for the year and have access to all those games again.
Freeman, even if you don't have any games to play, you'll just replay another Persona game instead of finishing Witcher. So,
True.
Look, this meme. I only replay Persona games when they come out with the new definitive edition of it. The only one I'm actually like. The only Persona game I actually sat down to play is Persona 4 Golden, which I haven't played. I played 4, not 4 Golden. Big difference.
Nah, bro.
But I don't have 120 hours. So I'm like saving my time for when Persona 3 comes out in February. We'll see if I can get the first Witcher DLC in that time.
There's no chance. Tyler,
if
how much
PTO,
do we want to put bets down on the fact that Freeman's not going to finish Witcher before Persona 3 Remake comes out?
If we didn't hang out on Sundays, I could beat the Witcher DLC fairly quickly.
So it's our fault, Tyler.
Yep, it's our fault. True.
You
true,
know what? It
true,
is your fault.
true.
If I wasn't recording this podcast on Tuesdays, I wasn't watching anime on Thursdays, and hanging
We
out on
barely
Sundays.
record this
I have-
fucking thing
I have
anymore.
3. Half my nights would be reclaimed
Oh
to be a
man,
gamer.
two hours a month at this point we spend recording this podcast.
Look, I need solid time to play these stories. I don't sit down and play 20 minutes and be like, oh, time to go record the podcasts.
Oh
If
my
I don't have
God.
an hour and a half to play, I'm just
Next
not playing.
podcast session is just going to be live streaming Friedman playing Witcher so that he can use the time for both.
If I
I mean, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
stuck playing this on PlayStation, so I'm wondering how I can. Or no, can you screen share with Discord on PlayStation 5 now?
I don't know. I haven't.
I'm wondering. Maybe we can
tried.
do an experiment. Just live stream.
Tyler
Oh,
hasn't
God.
touched a console since you guys all bought the PS5s together.
What do you mean? I
He's
played
played
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
16.
Oh, that's jeez.
Actually, I also
Yeah.
downloaded the new Telltale Expanse game.
Oh, I forgot
You played or
Telltale
just
got
downloaded it?
resurrected.
Yeah. I played the first episode and I thought it was okay. It's about as much
Yeah.
as I expected, which isn't bad, but it's not like stellar. It didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't grip me as well as Walking Dead or Wolf Among Us did.
Gotcha. Oh, hold on. I want to get through the one more Sony fuck up from this week, or I guess from last week at this point. They announced a new PSP.
Holy
Why
shit.
are they calling it? It's not a new PSP. It's just that stupid fucking handheld that's just the Wii U. That one. They're calling it the
yeah,
PlayStation.
the terrible one. I heard about this.
They renamed it from Project Whatever to the PlayStation Portal or the PSP. They confirmed that it does not have any
Why would
onboard hardware for running games. It's purely for streaming from your console to this controller thing. It costs
What is the point?
$199
Couldn't be less useful.
to not play games on its own. The one saving grace about it is as long as your PlayStation 5 is connected to a Wi-Fi network and this thing is connected to a Wi-Fi network, you can remotely turn your PlayStation on and run it that way. That's the only saving grace. It's still nowhere near worth this $199. But the egregious part of this, it does not support Bluetooth. It only supports Sony's new proprietary wireless audio format that does not work with the current version of the PlayStation headphones. You need the new PlayStation headphones, and it's the only way to connect this stupid PlayStation Portal for wireless audio. Sony
Why
is
did they
trying
think
to-
that any of this was a good idea?
I don't know who this is for. Like, maybe they saw the Steam Deck audience. Like, there's a specific set of gamers who, despite owning a gaming PC, would rather play on a handheld on their couch.
Yeah, but then that would require like there's so many points of like where this thing could fail.
I wonder if this
Like-
is one of those insular Japanese things where it's like because so many people in Japan just live in a tiny apartment without a TV, that
That's
Sony's
probably
like,
it.
hey,
But then you'd have to have a Wi-Fi network like if you're going out anywhere though.
yeah, Japan has
Like,
that
does this-
Oh,
everywhere.
no. It's purely intended for, like, your parents are using the TV, but you want to play your PS5, and you're in a house with one television. So here, this is your kid's solution.
A
But, like, for
shitty-ass solution.
$200, like, I get it. A DualSense is what, $80, $90? How expensive are these things?
A DualSense like $80 now, $70, $80, unfortunately.
So take into account this thing has a DualSense in it. It has, I don't think it's an OLED screen. It can't be that phenomenal of a screen, and then nothing fucking else. So it's $130 on screen and nothing.
That's ass.
It seems like shit, especially considering like I dabble a lot in the retro emulation handheld scene, and you can get a lot of bang for your buck for $100. And Sony's like, nah, it's $200, and it doesn't play any games. Like even the Logitech G whatever that their handheld got absolutely ripped for being a $300 Android device, but it's still a $300 Android device. It can play
Yeah, it's
Android
an
games.
Ouya.
You can use any of your apps. You can use any of the cloud streaming apps like Xbox Game Pass to stream to it. The kicker for this thing is, despite the fact that you are streaming from your PS5, if you're using PlayStation cloud streaming, you can't stream directly to the device. You have to
Oh,
stream
God.
to your PS5, which then restreams to your handheld.
This is like trying to build the laggiest machine possible.
How much latency? This is just, it sounds dumb, and I don't know why. Like, where's the market they're capturing?
I'm telling you, the more I hadn't even thought of it until I said it, but this has to be a Japan thing. There is no one in the US who thinks this is a good idea. How could they? Who wants this? The Steam Deck is clearly, or it's because they're like, okay, how can we make a Steam Deck knockoff for Sony fanboys that has no development time on it? What's the fastest way we can get this to market possible?
The only way I would ever reasonably purchase this thing is if somehow they like curved super hard into it and started like going down the Wii U design space of like, we are going to design games where like the screen
$400
has important shit on it.
$400, never. That's way too much work.
Like, that's the only way.
I believe you, but
other
there's
than that,
no way
I'm
not
even entertaining the idea of buying this thing. This is so stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, the fact that they couldn't come up with anything other than the PlayStation Portal.
I can't.
It's like, acronym aside, the fucking word is so similar. They couldn't pick
so many other
else.
letters of the alphabet.
Sony.
You just couldn't pick P or V, because PSV might have been Vita. You might have thought of Vita.
X. You couldn't pick X either, but
I'm looking like
PSX would have been.
I would have rather gotten freaking VR at this point than like I would think about getting that than this. Like it's just
maybe that's why they're like, we need a new worst peripheral.
I can't help but feel about this like reeks of Sony during the PS3 era, where every time they're on top, they just do dumb shit because there's nothing there's nothing to punish them until they get punished.
I buy all the Microsoft stonks, because they're gonna come back in the next generation. When Sony gets complacent and dumb, is when Microsoft surges back.
I don't know. Like, Microsoft is curved super hard into like trying to take on Steam in the PC market. I don't think they're gonna try and fight Sony on the console front, and then Nintendo is just doing their own thing. So like, I honestly feel like Sony's in this place where they can't get punished, and it's a bad thing.
No, it's
like they need a solid competitor.
Sony gets all the PlayStation stuff, and eventually it comes to PC. Microsoft is the PC people, because Starfield, Xbox, PC. There's no way over half. It has to be at least half of all people who played Starfield at launch played it on PC, not Xbox.
I wonder if we're just reaching end stage capitalism, where all three console manufacturers are they're all competing, which is not with each other.
Yeah,
They've sectioned off their own parts of the industry and just don't compete.
That's what it is. I canceled my Game Pass, actually, since the last podcast, relevant for everybody here, because I wasn't using it.
I was going to say, is it because it's not good value, or just because you're not gaming as much?
I'm not gaming as much. It's not worth it for me when I'm not gaming at all. Honestly, the most I got out of it recently was because if you connect it to your League account, you get all champions unlocked. So I got to mess around with champions I didn't own yet, but I don't buy them for real money. I just grind.
You grind out points for them, right?
Eventually, I just buy them. But I have all the ones I really care about. But yeah, that was the only real thing I used recently. But it's an amazing service if you game regularly and don't want to spend money on stuff like hell. If you buy it today, you have 4 months of playing Starfield that pays for it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal if you can like actually utilize it.
Like, Tyler, you and Aiden are like the perfect people for Game Pass. I'm not saying you either need it or should have it, but you guys both game more than enough for it.
Yeah, if I didn't have like a backlog, I would totally have it. I used to have it. I used to have Game Pass.
It seems like it's amazing value for someone who, like, let's say your kid is like, Dad, I want games. Like, okay, kid, here's a Game Pass.
When my son is old enough, if Game Pass still exists, I will happily subscribe to Game Pass so he can just try stuff that's on Game Pass. Assuming we haven't by then looped around back into the future where everything is like cable, where streaming is going, where no one has access to anything because every single video game publisher has their own Game Pass equivalent, and there's nothing available on Game Pass.
I'll kill myself.
Yeah,
I swear to God.
Games on vinyl.
On air, if that happens, I'm killing myself. I can't stand this.
The only hope is that Uplay has been the example of how that doesn't fucking work for anyone. Didn't we miss a couple weeks ago that there was like a story about Uplay like shutting down or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Uplay was finally getting killed off. I feel like I remember hearing about this a couple weeks ago.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, PlayStation's isn't even really working that well themselves. But then again, Microsoft had like a really good model, and they've just been running with it. So
Yeah.
I am genuinely curious though, if Sony didn't have like the PS5 shortages during the first couple of years, like would they be a lot better off? And if so, how much? But this is purely a
I
what if
don't know.
scenario.
That's a good question.
I mean, Sony won no matter what. The only reason they had shortages was because everyone wanted PlayStations and no one wanted Xboxes.
Yeah.
And who else had shortages? Switch, because Nintendo's always been doing their own thing. Man, imagine a world where Microsoft convinces one of them, preferably Nintendo, to do Game Pass on their console, and then instantly Microsoft's like, Xbox is no longer console. We're out of the race, and then it's just Sony and Nintendo.
They would go full Sega mode. Just be
That's
like,
what
we
I
make
mean.
software for other.
That's what I mean. They're already almost there.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying they would be like the Sega of this generation.
But I'm just saying that would be, how insane would that be? Because then you're down to just two companies that don't interact. The true golden age of PC.
They purely go, we are the console and you are the handheld.
That'd be so nuts. I don't think that'll happen though. I think Microsoft recognizes that if that happens, then there's way too much danger of like monopoly shit getting tossed around for real at all three of them, and they're like, we gotta it's worth the money to kind of keep this.
We'll take the financial hit to just keep printing money.
Game Pass is making enough money that as long as we can put out an Xbox, it's a couple mil R&D, but we keep Game Pass making all the money, it's fine. Speaking of making money, aka people who are not making money.
Damn.
So, Saints Row has been a series for a long time. I remember buying the steel box of Saints Row 2 many years ago. And I remember barely playing Saints Row 3 and then thinking, other than potentially trying to play co-op, every other Saints Row since then looked like kind of shit. Well, it turns out I'm not the only one who felt that way, because after the reboot of Saints Row, probably partially due to I'm expecting horrifically poor sales of that, the developer Volition, also makers of the Red Faction games. Red Faction Guerrilla, a game I still absolutely love to this day. And Red Faction Armageddon wasn't like the worst thing. Volition has been closed down by the Embracer Group, who I also know from my last job making airplanes, because they also are involved in making airplanes. But this is
That's so weird.
They own a whole bunch of game devs these days, apparently, as part of like acquisitions and shit, and they're losing money, and they found somewhere to cut, so they cut Volition, and I can't say I'm surprised. Like,
I'm not surprised either.
None of this Saints Row stuff has really stuck since, I guess you could say, 3 was the last big Saints Row, because everyone was so hyped after 2.
That was the last one, and then 4 came out. People were like, about 4, and then they got hyped because Get Out of Hell came out, because they're bringing back Johnny Gat, and then like that was shit too.
And
so
then
they were like,
cared, because it's like, oh wait, I'm caring about a character in a Saints Row game. Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, it was yeah, no. I heard a lot of bad things about the most recent one. I heard like it just was wrought with bugs and other like crazy bullshit. So,
damn.
And actually, I heard about this because I still have I have some friends that are in the game industry, so like they knew people about it or who were like in Volition, and that's how I heard about it. I was like, damn, that sucks.
It definitely sucks to see people lose their jobs, especially to when the company closes down, but it can't be that surprising. I can't think that Saints Row...
Oh yeah, no, I'm not surprised.
Like, Saints Row is a name that literally existed because Saints Row 2 was like the GTA killer that never sold as well as GTA, but was like the raunchier GTA, and then
it was
3
the
was
GTA
like...
at home.
Dude, it should have, Saints Row 2 was so, I don't care what anybody says, you can't look me in the face and say that it was, that GTA 4 was better than Saints Row 2.
Dude, I never liked GTA. Even if GTA 5 is pretty good, I thought GTA 4 was like the most brown, boring, badly controlling Rockstar game.
It was, but you'll get people that swear though that 4 was a really good game.
Nico, cousin.
Like the story might have been actually okay,
Who
like,
cares?
but like as like a GTA game, it was nothing compared to like what San Andreas was.
Yeah.
And the Saints Row 1 and Saints Row 2, especially 2, like it was such that was sequel. And it's like everybody like who liked GTA, they found like that upgrade through like Saints Row 2. Like I personally thought like that was like the spiritual successor
Mm-hmm.
to GTA until finally GTA, like in my opinion, if you were to say like tell me like what the GTA games were, I'd be like, okay, GTA whatever through San Andreas, it skipped 4 and somehow went to Saints Row and then it went to GTA 5.
Yeah.
But
I think a big part of
whatever.
why I've been like pretty anti Rockstar in general is a big part of it is because of GTA 4. I remember playing that in high school at Ed's house and being like, "Wow,
5 is good
I don't
though.
like playing this game. Five's good, but like I don't know. I never thought even then 5 still kind of just controls weird, and I could just never get over how I don't like controlling a Rockstar game.
Like in what way?
Just the movement and everything just feels so slippery, and the way they like kind of drift to a halt. The shooting has never felt very good in a Rockstar game. I don't know.
Not about. Well, I guess you're not there. You're not wrong. It does feel
We had this
very
conversation
heavy.
when you bought me Red Dead 2 and I tried it and I was like, "Wow, this seems really good. I just again do not want to play this game."
Red Dead 2 is great.
It is. I'm sure it is. 100%. Speaking of which though, we should probably keep going.
Oh yeah. Just to get it out of the way, just because I've been hearing. Also I haven't finished it yet, but I'm playing Starfield. Well, Michelle and I are playing a lot of Starfield. And there are some polarizing opinions about it so far. Some people are saying that it's the best thing since sliced bread. Other people are saying that it's the worst thing since I don't know, like
Fallout New
AI
Vegas,
reactions on TikTok.
Worst thing since Fallout 76. There we go. That's the sentence I'm trying to stretch.
Oh yeah. My review so far is that it's a Bethesda game, and that's what people should take it as.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't say that this game is like super groundbreaking or does anything like different. But nor would I ever say that like this is not a valid game that people should give a try. Like, people I think were looking for a more in-depth No Man's Sky,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not what this game is. It's a Bethesda game through and through. Um, I don't know if I was talking to you. I think I did tell you guys this, but like Aiden was like looking for more of like an space exploration game, but
Yeah.
that's not this. It's more of like a story driven like it's like a Mass Effect. Like
Yeah, I think a lot of people lost sight of what Starfield was going to be between No Man's Sky really resurging over the last few years and then Baldur's Gate kind of coming out and making everyone like think about RPGs kind of differently. This was always going to be Skyrim in space.
yes.
And that's it sounds like that's if that's what you were even sort of looking for, you're thrilled with this game, and if you kind of lost sight of that, then you're not going to want this at all.
I'm coming from the perspective of someone who straight up did not look into anything about this game other than just listening to hype. And with having not seen a single gameplay trailer prior to release, I assumed it was just Bethesda's No Man's Sky, is what I thought it was going to be. So I imagine there's a lot of ignorant gamers who thought the same thing.
Which is crazy because like in my opinion, I do think it's crazy because like I don't know, like even Aiden was saying like, oh, like or maybe not him, but like people have been playing Bethesda games and like they know what they've been like for years now. Like Skyrim hasn't fucking changed in the 10 years that it's been out. Actually 12 years Skyrim's been out for 12 years.
Jeez.
Like Fallout 4, same thing. Like the formula hasn't changed. And I'm not surprised. So like when this game came out, I was not shocked by any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I wish there were some things that were like slightly done better? Sure, but I feel like I can find that in like any game, and I feel like a lot of people just been nitpicking it. And I'm not saying like people should just be giving this like 9s or 10s off the bat. Like things in art should be criticized heavily, in my opinion. But like
Sure.
I wouldn't put something down because I had a wrong impression or like went into it with like certain things. Like I like the story so far. Like I'm having a really good time with it. So is Michelle. She will not leave the ship editor
Hell yeah.
because she just likes putting stuff together. And I'm just having a lot of fun with the stories. For example, probably a spoiler. I ran into, so if, listeners, if you don't want to, I'm not going to get into too much, but I found a ship that had an AI on it, and I decided to try to change the AI ship in a certain way, and it ends up fucking off, and now it hunts me down relentlessly.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it tries to kill me, and I don't think I can kill it ever again. So I'm fucked.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you can, and like also it does some interesting stuff too, where it added like a trait system, so like a background system. So kind of like D&D, in a very like light sense. So like you can add like little bonuses, like I have the kid stuff perk or the kid stuff like background, so my parents are alive, and they just give me stuff every once in a while. And it's kind of fun because like, you get some extra stuff. I also added this wanted trait where you don't have a bounty on your head, but people are looking to kill you. So like bounty hunters just show up every once in a while trying to kill you.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's cool. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it just because like it's been buzzing around the news. People have been talking about it and shit like that. So I
Sure.
wanted to give my first impressions. And then we could go back to
Oh yeah, there's some WRPG shit. We need to let me stall for time to turn off my press so I can play the soundboard in time for the Weeb shit.
wow.
That was bad. I forgot what was coming up next. Anyway, not too much to talk about, but what there is to talk about is whatever. So first of all, the big thing taking over the Weeb space has to be, I think it was last week's launch of the One Piece live action series on Netflix.
Oh boy.
And everyone is celebrating that this is, for the first time ever, an anime adaptation that isn't total garbage. And I wanna repeat about how low the bar for success here is. I know a lot of One Piece fans, and all of them have told me the same thing. This show is not that bad, but it's not a good One Piece adaptation. And I think we finally hit the space where they're never going to make a good, perfect one-to-one anime adaptation. I think Cowboy Bebop was the perfect example that just like a character like Ed, something that's cool in anime just straight up doesn't work in live action. You have to do it differently. And One Piece has kind of figured out what to do there. That said, if you're that big of a fan of One Piece, just watch One Piece. Like, the transition to live action doesn't necessarily make it any better. If you're a person who prefers live action shows to anime and wants a live action show to watch, perhaps this is for you. But it's still not an amazing show. I will commend them though for it not being garbage. They've
So I
beat
missed it.
requirements.
Did you watch any of it?
No, but both my friends who won't shut up about One Piece have given their opinions. One of them said, "This is the worst show I've ever seen, 6.5 out of 10." And I stopped. I'm like, "It's a what out of 10?" He's like, 6.5, it's garbage. And I'm just like, what would it have to be to be a 4? And he's like, it doesn't matter, 6.5 means it's garbage. And I was like, all right, we're not arguing about your scale, but whatever.
I'm arguing about the scale.
Yeah. Well, he's like 65 is failing. I'm like, all right, fine, if we want to do it that way. But at the end of the day, it's I think it's like diehard One Piece fans just don't give a shit. And on the other hand, diehard One Piece fans will hype this up. So anyone you hear claiming that it's great, keep in mind One Piece fans love everything related to their franchise. So there's a little bit of
Yeah,
bias
they
in a
are
lot of these reviews.
big dick riders, bigger dick riders.
Yeah, that said, only watched if you got the time and you're curious about it. I don't think this is like the must-watch show that everyone's hoping these live actions will finally be. None of them will ever be must-watch. It's never going to happen. Mark my words. But moving on for some other announcements. The biggest one, to absolutely no one's surprise, because I keep saying this, that MF Ghost has to happen Q4 this year, and it means it's going to be in October. And despite the fact they released a trailer every week for 5 weeks with no release date, they finally confirmed that MF Ghost is coming out October 1st. We're getting our Eurobeat. We're getting our race cars. It's going to be amazing. Much like Initial D, we have no clue what MF stands for, but let's be real. Everyone already knows what it stands for.
Everybody, motherfucker.
Motherfucking Ghost. Speaking of other motherfuckers, Misfit of Demon King Academy, a show we haven't talked about in 2 seasons because it started re-airing last season, has finally reached the point it was at last season when it got delayed indefinitely due to production issues. So it is back. If you want to watch it, go ahead. I am on the fence about just dropping this season halfway through. I highly doubt taking 12 weeks off would allow them to correct a lot of the issues they were having with the production of season 2. This was very much, we were going to release a botched show and we just have to delay airing it by 12 weeks. Not that we've had 12 weeks to actually improve on it.
I gotta watch it. I mean, me and Aiden didn't find time, and then we just haven't gotten back to it. So I just need to find time by myself and just sit down and pull the trigger and watch how it went. Because man, when I think about how much fun I had with the first season of this show, and how by the end of watching, let me check my Mal. I genuinely don't even remember how many episodes in I was when I just completely, did I put in my dropped? No, I watched 4 episodes. Pretty sure they're up to like 7 or 8.
7. So I think 7 came out before it restarted.
Yeah, so
yeah. So you still have half the shit to get
Mal
through.
is updated to say aired from January 8th, 2023 to September 24th, 2023.
Damn.
Damn. All right. Either way, I'm probably not going to pick this back up. If you watch it and you're like, yo, the second half is fire, they turned it around, maybe, but I think I'm out of this one. And then the last one, the one will finally all be free on November 4th. Attack on Titan, final season, part 3, the final chapter, special 2, aka the actual finale, this time for real, part 2, is coming out on November 4th.
Literally won't believe it till it happens.
Which is very interesting considering they would not shut up about how the release date is in October for months and months and months, only to be like, sorry, we missed it by a week.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Anyway, they came with a teaser trailer today that had absolutely 0 footage. It's all just shit from the last 30 seconds of Final Chapter Special number 1. So,
what a surprise.
Katakawa, like, I'd say you have explaining to do, but they're just going to get away with it.
Of course they are. Come on.
They can't keep getting away with it.
They can't. If this actually ends it, they can't keep getting away with it.
But then speaking of getting away with it, I thought this wasn't coming out until next season, but Toonami just decided, fuck it. We don't give a shit about anime seasons. First weekend in September, we're just going to air the new season of Fooly Cooly.
Good.
Listeners, don't watch Fooly Cooly. This whole franchise sucks. There's my hot take. If
Damn.
you like Fooly Cooly, you were 12 when it came out. There, I said it. So, that said, I've watched Fooly Cooly 3 times. I've hated it all 3 times I've seen it.
That's a hot take.
Hot take. Then I went and I watched Fooly Cooly Progressive and Fooly Cooly, whatever the fuck the other one was.
God, I really hate this show that I've spent days of my life watching.
Season 2.5 and the other season 2.5, because neither of these really want to commit to being the sequel. They both were not very good. But Toonami's like, ayo, people love Fooly Cooly. It's anime of the millennium. Let's just keep making more of it. So they come up with Fooly Cooly Grunge. If either of you guys watch the trailer, this, like, I make fun of bad CG anime, but this just reeks of everything wrong with bad CG anime. This is just, it's disgusting to look at. At least, oh, it's Fully Coolly Alternative. That's one. At least with that, it still looked like a good anime, but failed to capture what made Fully Coolly. And then you just had Fully Coolly Progressive, which was just, it tried to capture what Fully Coolly was and just completely fucked it up. I don't know if Grunge is gonna do it. I just fuck Fully Coolly. This is not good.
This is
Toonami,
so funny.
stop this. This is bad. Just let it end. Let season 1 be what it was. You can't capture lightning in a bottle, even though it wasn't really lightning. It was like a firefly, and everyone's just delusional about what it was. That's it. That's it for the Weeb shit. I'm done. I'm done.
About this. This is
fuck Fully
hilarious.
Coolly. The show is
Right?
not actually
Damn.
good, and you can't convince me.
Good God.
I have watched so much of this show. You can't convince me that it's good.
I've watched season 1 3 times from start to finish. You can't change my mind. I own it on DVD and Blu-ray, and I fucking hate
Jesus.
this show. You can't change my mind.
Wow. Fucking wow.
I have so many posters of Fully Coolly. I want to tear them all down, but I don't because I hate it so much.
I need to cement the legitimacy that I've truly consumed this franchise, that I could say it's not good.
That I've really given it a chance.
Everyone, because back in the old day, I'd say I watched it once, I didn't like it. I was like, you need to just really try it again. You're not a real anime fan until you watch this. And I'm just like, motherfucker, this is not good. It's not that good of a show. It's not bad,
Oh god.
but it's not the end all
But
be all
it
that
ain't
everyone
good.
says it is.
I gotta say, before we go off the Weeb shit, Freeman, I saw on our anime, because that's technically Weeb shit, that the bracket website, the anime bracket website, is going to be shutting down in a month or something.
What?
Because they don't have the money to, whoever runs it doesn't have the money to host it anymore, so there's not going to be brackets anymore.
You mean to tell me
Yes.
that shit tier best girl contest is going to be the last one of its kind
If you search
until
for
they come
any,
on the other side?
I was clicking on one of the random posts about like what were they doing recently? The one about like openings or something. And there was like a stickied comment that was like, unless we can find someone to host the bracket site, and wants to take it over, the bracket site will be closing like end of September or something like that. I can't remember. I assumed you knew about it.
No, I don't know. Was there like a dedicated thread where they spoke about it?
No,
or
it's like a
something?
pinned comment in each of the threads recently about any of the bracket stuff. So if you like search for bracket and then just look at the top pinned comment on any of the posts.
Damn.
Ave Maria.
Yeah, that sucks. That was like they really just
Damn.
need to figure out a solution to all the bots because it was super fucking obvious that the Data Live guys were ruining everything. But yeah, this was definitely one of my favorite community things about being in the anime community in the 2010s and
Yeah,
onward.
but it's
is
been dying ever
participating in this.
since Reddit fucked themselves, and now Reddit's also not doing as hot. So
I miss the old internet.
this season,
Yo, we were talking about the old internet the other day, dude.
It's just not. It's not
I
like it
missed
used to be.
It ain't like, yo, when you got misclick to meat spin, bro. Those were the good old
When
days.
E-Bomb's World was peak content.
Oh
When
my
E-Bomb's World was
Badger,
peak
Badger,
content.
mushroom, Badger.
Mushroom. Dude,
My son will have Henry
I
will
missed
have
it.
no idea unless we
You gotta
tell him.
quote "End of the World" at him and confuse him.
Henry,
I'd be like, yo, Henry, so let me show you BME Pain Olympics. 2 girls, 1 cup. Have you ever heard of this?
Oh, stop! No.
No,
Alright.
he must be forged in the fires like we were.
Just because you're referencing shit that I would call some dark web content. Someone used a term in our business meeting today to refer to like harvesting content off the dark web that had been illegally attained. They used the term dark data to refer to it.
Oh my god.
I was sitting in the meeting and I was like, dark data? This sounds like some like Mega Man Battle Network shit. Like they use the dark chips to
TLG.
activate the dark data
Oh my god.
that powers the Dark Gundam.
I hate it.
Anyway, let's talk about what we watched and played on the dark
let's
web.
blitz through what we
Yeah.
watched and played. I want to talk about this first because this is something that no one in our group was going to watch, and then Val and I just tried it. Star Wars Visions 2, aka not famous anime studios one.
Where this one was questionably not even anime.
Yeah, it's not on Mal. Star Wars Visions 2, the international edition, and by international I don't mean just Japan. Val and I actually took a week about 2-3 weeks ago and watched through all of them. And I can definitively say that there is a similar tiered breakdown to the first one, where there's 3 great ones, 3 good ones, and 3 that no one needs to watch. We're not going to have the long thing that we had when First Visions came out because these guys both have not watched any, although Val and I showed Tyler the first one, which is arguably one of the most stylish things I've ever seen outside of a Spider-Verse movie.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Working my way from the top down, Freeman, I know I told both of you this, but just to get it on mic for everybody who's listening, if you want to watch Star Wars Visions 2, in my opinion, episode 1, 2, and 6 are the absolute bangers. 1 is super stylish, 2 has a wonderful plot and stylization, and 6 is the basically the same as the Seventh Jedi, where it's the one where you could actually see it turning into a show and you actually care about, and the story actually seems interesting and you want it to continue. Then for the mid-tier, we have what's Leica, the stop-motion studio that does really cool movies like Kubo and the Two Strings. There's one called Episode 3 is that style. That one's pretty good, a little janky and a little weird, but overall good. Episode 5 is one of those ones that's kind of plot heavy. Again, seems like they're trying to set up something potentially, but wasn't that interesting, but definitely had some cool effects and was just a fun time. And then Ao's Song was another stop motion looking one, but it was like a felt looking stop motion, which is a really cool style. And that one just seemed fun and interesting and was one of those ones that kind of tries to give their own take of like what the Force is a little bit kind of thing, or like play with the Force a little more than just telekinesis and lightsabers. So that was really fun. And then the bottom 3, I don't think any person has to watch any of these 3. Number 4 is the stereotypical mom, you're embarrassing me in front of the rich kids who are snobby, and then we beat them up in a family event at school. It looks like the Wallace and Gromit clay style.
Oh yeah, that claymation shit.
Yeah, but it was not interesting. Number 7 is an interesting case where it seems like it was made by a studio in India. It looks pretty, but when the story is happening and when things move and the voice acting and everything, it feels really stiff, and like someone has the technical skill to make this look nice, but there's no director making the whole package good. And it just kind of all falls a little flat and feels kind of rushed, and definitely I wasn't too into this one. And then number 8, The Pit, is like a really ham-fisted kind of like almost slavery-esque story going on. Really kind of over the top, like everyone is a good person if given the chance kind of thing. Yeah, definitely was worried that we were ending on a bad note after 7 and 8, but Ao's Song kind of turned it around and at least ended on a good one. But yeah, so 1, 2, 6 are great. 3, 5, 9 are good, and feel free to skip 4, 7, and 8. That's the review. But if you're gonna watch anything, if you're even gonna watch one, I think watching the first one is the one to pick, and then number 2 if you're gonna watch them. So if you're gonna, and then work your way down from there. Those are the top 2, and 1 is just so cool. I've rewatched that with Tyler. I would rewatch that with Friedman if you wanted to see it.
I'd be down to.
It's just I love the visual storytelling and the stylization. It's so cool.
It's neat. But
yeah, that's Visions 2. I don't think this is going to continue. I can't imagine this one was as successful as the first one. But if there's more, Honestly, I'll watch more. I think it's a really cool idea to just kind of take these little one-off things. No one really does these. We kind of talked on the last podcast about how kind of the death of the monster of the week show, like the X-Files kind of thing, where there's not always overarching plot, how so many people have moved away from that. So having these little bite-sized things that are very self-contained is honestly a fun change of pace. But speaking of overarching stories,
Honestly, there's all right. We're gonna talk about my vacation saga and all the shit I consumed on the plane rides. The first thing we'll talk about is Mobile Suit Gundam, the 08 MS team. And I'll say this: so going into this, I knew that this is a very hyped series. This is the Gundam that most people told me to watch before I was watching Gundam. So I went in knowing that like people hype this up, be prepared for disappointment. People were hyping this up back in the early 2000s. A lot of time has passed since then and may not still hold up. So I watched the first half of it on my flight out to Italy. And in the first half, it was a lot of episodic stuff. But like long story short, it's if anyone knows the story of Universal Century Gundam, during the 1 year war, there's a huge conflict on Earth's surface, and somehow they retcon it so there's Gundams there, even though the Gundam is up in space. And long story short, it's just the Vietnam War with Gundams. It's very cool. It's a very grounded take on it. No one has superpowers like Amuro Ray does. It's just straight up, these are walking tanks and we're fighting in the jungle. And the first 6 episodes are very episodic. Like one plot will just be like, this is the episode where we're in the desert and we got to outlast the enemy mobile suit. And it was really cool. In the second half, it kind of falls apart. It becomes this power of love, Romeo, Juliet. There's a super weapon Gundam. How do we take it down? And then it also includes an epilogue episode where I think the first 15 of the 24 minutes just straight up don't need to exist. It's not good. So I'd say it falls apart in the second half. Overall, it is a good show. Is it one of the best Gundams? I don't know. I'm still only like a third of the way through the entire franchise. I'd say it's good. It's worth watching, but I'd say go into it knowing that this shit is overhyped as hell. But the animation on this is beautiful. Like this is peak hand-drawn cell animation and keep in mind, this also wasn't a TV anime. This came out like in bundles of 2 episodes, like 6 months apart. So they had a lot of time to work on this. All the frames are super beautiful. Anytime someone fires a laser, it looks phenomenal. This is like, I guess this is right around the time they were doing G Gundam on TV, or just after. Shit looks beautiful. So I still give it a solid, it's good. Just know that this is not the definitive end-all be-all Gundam series. And the second show I watched, I'm still only halfway through this, and we'll see what happens here. But Insomniacs After School. This was a show that Tim, you and Val have been speaking very highly of. My friend Elias has been reminding me constantly, like, go watch this show. And he doesn't like, I don't want to say he doesn't like anime. He doesn't watch anime near as much as we do in high school. So if I get a recommendation from him, usually it's a good enough show that he would watch it, and then also one that he thinks I would like. So I'm about halfway through it. And what's her face? I think her name's Ikari. She drops like the most massive death flag in the fucking universe. So I'm not sure what to expect in the second half of the show. But I feel like there's no way she dies. It can't be. But I'm overall very, very much enjoying the vibe of this show.
It's pretty great.
I just don't want another Your Lie in April. I can't handle this.
Depending on the breakdown, this could easily be a top contender at the end of the year for Val and I. Depending on how like categories were broken down, kind of Crunchyroll Awards-esque.
Gotcha. All right, that's my cue to not slow roll this and finish this in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, it's super
waiting until awards season.
It's a great show. It's really fun. Val and I enjoyed it a lot, so I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I did have to put My Happy Marriage on hold until I'm finished with this, because I can only take one cutesy, wholesome, potentially
That's fine.
romance
I'm pretty
show
sure
at a
this
time.
is better than Marriage.
Gotcha. But then in terms of non-anime stuff I consumed while on vacation,
Yes.
I needed to read something. I thought I had a lot more left in the last Witcher book. I finally finished it. But like I'd waited so long between when I'd started the last third of this book to now that I forgot everything that was going on. And I was like, fuck it, let me just read something else.
That's what happens with Witcher books.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep going on the Witcher books, but we'll see.
You don't have
Wait,
to.
where are you at in the Witcher books?
I finished the first one.
So Blood of Elves? Or
No.
Last Wish.
The Last Wish.
Oh,
like the short stories one. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So here's the thing with the first 2 books, though. I think Tim can agree with me.
All short stories, right?
They're all short stories, and like you don't. There's no like real cohesive like thing to them. Like you can just kind of read them and just be done with them. Like they're not like
Freeman, I'm gonna be
something I have
honest.
to keep track of.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's cool that I read the books, that I got like extra context for the games outside of the like from the books, kind of. I could easily play the Witcher game 5 more times in my life and never touch one of the Witcher books ever again.
Yeah,
the
I felt like
shit
reading...
is so convoluted in the later books with like Ciri and the dimension hopping shit.
Yo,
Like,
I'll tell you right the fuck now.
Let's go.
I like looking back. I thought the main Witcher story was just okay.
Oh yeah, dude.
I thought the books were just okay.
I don't understand how you're like how shit is supposed to keep going. It's so weird. There's so much weird timey, like Tyler, this is time travel.
It is.
And you don't like time travel.
I don't. It's super weird.
I still remember the characters chilling by the lake, who are the 2 women who just show up for the woman to make a portal and that's it.
Yep.
Fucking weird. Or like the shit at the castle where it's like, oh, I was
the climax where everybody
and it's like, it's just like
except your boy Reggie though. Reggie comes back,
yeah,
baby.
The only awesome thing is that until I met him if I had met him in the games and not read the books, I would care probably as much as Friedman's going to when he finally meets him. But like, I cared about him a lot from the books because he's such a bro. But outside of that, like
fucking Reggie, bro, ride or die.
Ride or die, man. He's such a man. He's such a bro. But like outside of that, there's so much like slightly different from the book, and I just think the game handles the story really well. Like you understand what the fuck's going on.
Yo, legit canon for me. Witcher 3 is the definitive ending for the Witcher
yeah, dude,
series.
come on. How can it not be? The end of Blood and Wine?
Like it's perfect.
Why would you not
perfection?
No.
Oh, you guys mind swapping the order of stuff for a second? I had to step away for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're good.
And then I'll jump back. All right, I'll be right back.
No, I think I mean we're just talking about the end of Witcher, which he hasn't played anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, this is perfect because I think Mr. Sapkowski, or however you pronounce his name, he would say it's not supposed to end happy like that. But the way they end with, like, you don't need all the context of Yennefer, like, and Triss going to Kaer Morhen and raising Ciri and like seeing all that shit and everything like that, and Triss getting all up in the Witcher's faces and them being idiots. Like, that's kind of assumed. You don't need all that. And then at the end, when you just settle down at the winery, and it's like there's room here for more. But
yeah, but like it's an ending that like
it's an
all the questions, like everything was like tied up instead
He's
of
so Polish. He can't let it end that well.
Yeah, like in the books, it's like, oh yeah, he just dies somewhere. It's like,
because remember, oh my god, yeah, there's like the time travel shit where like something is masquerading as Geralt is how it all ends, right? Like there's a spirit of Geralt or some weird
like
thing.
that.
I don't even remember. And it's like there was a Witcher here, and then there's all the like you don't really know how it ended because the final story is like 100 years in the future, or like 1,000 years in the future. Something. It's so vague. It's like let's just have a linear plot, please. There's enough good here. I care about all these characters. The books give context to stuff like, again, like Regis. Oh my god, the dwarf.
I forgot his name. But yeah, which is interesting because you learn that like him and his group were assholes, and like Geralt wanted nothing to do with them.
Yeah, but time heals all wounds, man.
Yeah, right.
And like you do get more out of the Yennefer relationship.
Yes.
But like the book is great at providing context, but if you just take like the emotions you get from the books, and then just apply them to the plot of the game as like filler.
Yeah, I think it's
like
perfect.
the best.
I think the game I think like is one of the best adaptations of anything I have ever experienced.
not even an adaptation because it doesn't adapt the story.
Oh, I guess you're right. I guess it is a sequel.
It's like an alternate version, but it's better.
It is fanfic, but better.
Like, take all the pieces that made the books that you got out of the books, and then just use them to supplement the game, and then you're in like the best spot. So, and that's where I'm at. So, well, Friedman's still gone. I guess I'll just talk about the 2 movies we saw this weekend real quick. So Val and I have been working through this poster I think we've talked about with the 100 movies to watch that we're watching, at least us, if not with other people. And Tyler, I know I texted you because I was like, Tyler's not going to believe this.
Fucking wild. I'm surprised you got her to watch that movie.
So Val and I watched Dr. Strangelove. And Val actually liked it. This super black comedy about the Cold War.
I'm gonna ask you: did she actually like it, or did she Dresden like it?
She's like, I really liked it.
Okay.
Crazy.
Because you know what I mean by Dresden liked
Yeah.
it.
No, but Doctor Strangelove is still an absolute slam dunk classic. Like, anyone who has any interest in black comedies, you have to watch this movie. It's from such a different time. Like, but I think I told you guys, like, or I told Val this while we were watching. I texted my dad a picture. Tyler, I don't know how well you remember the movie. Yeah. Do you remember that? Oh my God, it's so pathetic that I don't remember the actor's name.
I watched it like 5 years ago, so it's a little spotty.
Oh my God, I can't remember the actor's name. It's so pathetic that I don't. He's so famous. He plays Patton too. George C. Scott.
Oh yeah.
His first scene, and one of only like 4 scenes maybe to take place outside of either the war room, the airplane, or the general's office, is in a hotel room where he's with a woman. And I texted my dad a picture of him in that hotel room, and my dad immediately knew what movie we were watching. Instantly.
All right, I'm back. What movie were we talking about?
Talking about Dr. Strangelove.
Gotcha.
This movie is so quotable, and if you watch this movie, there are so many references to this movie throughout movie history. Like, anytime you see a movie where there's a giant room with giant TVs in it that looks like the war room, it's probably referencing Dr. Strangelove. So many things have referenced the person riding the bomb down as it falls.
Oh yeah.
That's Dr. Strangelove. All the lines are so quotable. It's so funny. Like when George C. Scott's like, but Mr. President, look at the board, the giant board. Like,
it's all like, man, and it's fucked up because like, I feel like that movie would hold up.
It
like it holds up. Because like, damn, like if you like just like if you were to take the same plot and apply it to like real world, be like, yeah, I could believe this would happen today. Like,
the fact that the movie ends in the most believable way possible, where he goes, Mr. President, we cannot have a mine shaft gap. Like, it's in the last 2 minutes, we come up with this completely ridiculous doomsday scenario, and we're just immediately talking about how, well, the Russians can't beat us. The world's not going to exist soon, but the Russians can't beat us. We got to beat the Russians, Mr. President. Like, oh my God, Tyler, all the phone calls between the president and the premier of Russia.
Oh yeah. Oh my
No,
God.
of course I like talking to you on the phone. Dude, honestly, one of the most impressive things about this movie, Peter Sellers plays the British captain. He plays the president, and he plays Dr. Strangelove. Like, in every scene, he is on screen playing one of the main roles, and that is amazing to me. Tyler, when he at the end just stands over and he goes, "My Fuhrer, I can walk."
Oh yeah, dude, honestly, I forgot. I need to rewatch the movie.
You need to rewatch. Tyler, you've been watching so many movies lately. I would be so happy if you rewatched
Dr. Strangelove.
Dr. Strangelove. It is so funny.
Oh, well, it's a good watch. I
It's so
recommend it.
funny.
It's an older movie for those you got. It was like what, 68?
60s, 64.
Yeah,
Damn, that's an
it's
oldie.
worth it though. Like
It's so
if
good.
you're cool with older movies, it's definitely worth it. It's legitimately funny.
It's one of those movies where, this applies a lot more to older movies. I know this sounds very bougie, but like, you know how older movies with low budgets had to make do with so little. Like I said, I wasn't kidding when there's 3 main sets, and I think like maybe 4 sets that they use one time in this entire movie. And like all the shots of the B-52 bombers look like models. They look terrible. But the writing just carries this movie, and the writing and the acting, like George C. Scott's facial expressions when he's talking and making faces at the president, it is so hysterical. The things that he is doing while he's trying to convince the president of things, like it is, there's nothing really like it these days. It's just such a classic. Anybody who likes older movies at all, Doctor Strangelove is an absolute classic. And then just to go on to the other movie we watched this weekend, Freeman, it's good that you're back since you were here for this. Also on our poster, we watched Django Unchained. And
Fucking banger. I was upset I couldn't stay for the whole thing.
I know.
You know, I've seen it like literally probably over 10 times.
It's still...
Yeah, you left before Samuel Jackson made an appearance, right?
Who's that on that
On
name?
The
Yeah. But you have to burn the sheets. Then my sheets
My
to
sheets
burn.
to burn.
Oh god, I love that movie so much.
Yeah, it's still good. Freeman, you'd seen it before, right?
Yeah, I saw it like opening weekend when it came out.
Yeah, Val is the one who hadn't seen it, and Val was not as into it as she was Doctor Strangelove.
I'll reimburse you. You will.
No, he won't. He just wants you to stop.
Well, oh yeah, Val. I would imagine that Val would not like that movie.
Well,
so
the first time that a guy gets shot and blood shoots everywhere, she's like, "Oh."
Yo, she has the audacity to say that, but she watches Bleach though. Please, I don't want to hear from her.
Where someone gets punched and they just cough up a gallon of blood.
Yeah, I don't want to hear from her.
Yo, but Tyler, you finally saw that fire episode though.
It was pretty. Apparently, that was the only worth it episode. So you know.
Only worth it. That was just the most worth it.
Oh, well, then what's the point? If it ain't gonna go up or be the same from there, then what's the point?
No, Tyler, you're there for the plot.
What's the point of reading new books in a series once the good one came out? Like,
that's the secret about Dresden. They all get better as you go. That's why it's
they
awesome.
do get better as they go along.
Freeman.
Oh yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, you didn't talk about Dresden Book 1 really.
Yeah, no, I just talked about I wrapped up Witcher, and then you guys went on the Witcher tangent. Anyway, the book I picked was the first book in the Dresden Files series. What is it called? Stormfront or something?
Stormfront.
Yeah. So I'm like a third of the way through it right now. I want to just sit down and hammer out the rest of it because this is a fun reading experience. But I told Tim this. Harry's just a fucking goober. Every scene he's in, I picture him just adjusting his fedora before he says anything. Like he's certainly interestingly written.
So things I raise my eyebrows change. But
yeah, you're funny.
That does not change.
So here's the other
he
thing.
He stays kind of a goober.
Yeah, he's always a goober. Harry's great. I love Harry. He's always a goober. Why do you think he's one of my favorite characters, Freeman? I almost cosplayed him one time.
Hell yeah.
Even Jim Butcher himself recommends people to not start at the first book. Tyler, I think he said the third book because he said
There's
that
a big tone shift.
No, not a tone shift, but the big overarching arc. Tyler, you know what it is. The arc that lasts a long time starts in book 3, and he's talked about how book 1 was kind of written in college even.
That's true. He does say so. You'll see a lot of reviews about Stormfront and Full Moon is the second one.
Full Moon.
He was like, yo, those books objectively weren't good. He's like, if you want to read them, you can. He's like, yeah, I do remember you saying, or we talked about this.
I've talked about this before.
Yeah, he says don't read those. You should just start at the third one.
But
Death Masks.
I think you're right. But even the weird thing there. So the only reason I was bringing that up was Freeman. If you liked book 1, I wasn't kidding when Dresden just gets better and better and better as time goes on, and he gets better at writing. So like if you enjoyed book 1, it's only gonna get way better.
I'll put it this way: I find it entertaining. I imagine this is just early feeling out what style he wants to go with for this.
I will
and
say
just getting
though.
better as an author.
So actually, he did it. So fun. So I think he said this in an interview. He wrote this book. He wrote Stormfront for a class.
Yeah, that's what it was. Not college. It was for
And
a
his
class.
professor, who was a publisher at the time, or like an ex-publisher, she's like, "Yo, this will sell." And he's like, "Nah, this wouldn't sell." And she's like, "No, like I'm dead ass. Like I'm gonna get you to a publisher, and we're gonna get this published, and this is where we're at."
Damn.
I mean, it came out during a good time because like modern fantasy was very big in like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I'm definitely enjoying it. I just need to like sit down and just have dedicated reading time.
Do the Tyler route and just do ebooks or audiobooks.
I mean, I could literally give you the rest of these.
It's fine. I like reading on my own.
No.
Yeah. So we'll see how long it takes me to get through this one. And then one more game. I'm probably gonna have to put this one on pause, unfortunately. I was hoping I'd have more time to play it, and I just didn't. But I was playing a bit of Yakuza 0 while I was on vacation. And I understand what Val says when she claims this isn't a video game. There's just so much random shit stuffed into a single game experience, and I'm all for it.
It's
like
the best.
I know a lot of people compare it to Persona in terms of the feel of just you're running around in Tokyo and just there's random shit in games and people to talk to, and I get it. I get it 100%. I think I'm on the second chapter of the game, so I beat like the first boss, and I still struggled on it. I refused after losing 3 times in a row to switch it to easy mode, and went the distance. I think it was on like my 17th attempt I beat this guy.
Genuinely shocked it took you that many tries to beat Kuze.
It was hard. I don't know what was going on. Like I couldn't figure out when he would punish you and when he wouldn't. Like he was just a hard to read boss.
I have my LP. I can always check. I don't remember.
Yeah,
how
maybe I
it
should.
took,
I also went in with just like no items, no nothing.
those staminans are important.
Yeah, I didn't understand how to prep for a boss fight in Yakuza, and I was just more like, I like the story. Let's keep going.
But like all the dumb shit leading up to that, with the guy who keeps getting back up to chase you through the building.
That was hilarious.
When you jump through the window into the bathroom, like Kiryu should have so died there. It's amazing.
The entire chase, you open with a wow, there's no way I'm gonna survive this 1v8, and then you go in the room like, oh wow, it's a 1v6, and then it's like, oh, how many 1vx's can I possibly have to do before? Oh, it's 30. I beat up 60 guys unharmed. Let me fight the boss. Like the whole sequence was just fucking wild.
It's great.
I gotta say, this game screams Sega, and I love it. I don't know what it is.
Freeman, when you get the chance to walk around, you can go into any arcade and play like all the old Sega games.
Really?
Oh my god, yeah. They have the claw machines, but also they have like Outrun. Kiryu literally, you sit at the machine and Kiryu goes, Auto, run! And like you sit and he sits at a giant car and drives out and you play Outrun.
This game is so goofy, but I love it. It's especially because I think this one, it's in the 80s, so it's got like that 80s Japanese almost city pop aesthetic feel to it.
This is the whole idea is this is the glamour 80s. Like this is everything. There's just money everywhere. That's why your experience is money. Because it's like the whole idea is everything is money in this timeline.
Yeah, everyone's making money super fast. For anyone who played the hit Steam early release game Stonks 9800, this is exactly what it feels like. But yeah, enough of Yakuza 0. I'm not sure when I'm going to play it. I like having it just in the back pocket for when I'm ever like at home with the Steam Deck, so I can just play it. I'm hoping it's a pick up and play style.
You just got to be careful. So the side quests are very pick up and play. The main quest is like, you might get into some sequences where you're like, I need to play for a bit.
That was the thing I noticed, that there were long stretches where it's like, I can't pause.
Yeah, there are stretches where it's like you can't pause. You're in a couple long cutscenes, or you're in like a hallway for a good minute.
Yeah, so it's not really a pick up and play for 20 minutes, and more of a like pick up and play every other week kind of thing.
Or if you need 20 minutes, just do a side quest, or just literally, like I said, go to an arcade and just mess around.
Yeah, that's probably how I'll treat this one. We'll see. I don't want to sit here and say I'll beat Yakuza 0 before the Witcher DLC because we all know I'm fucking
There's
lying.
literally no chance of that. Yakuza
Yeah.
0
Why
is
the
too big of a
fuck
game.
you lying?
But I do want to play this. Yakuza 0 is a lot of fun.
It is.
And then I'll move on to the last bit of media I consumed. This one wasn't on a plane or anything. This one was just last Saturday. I was hanging out with some friends after we went shopping for ski equipment. They're like, let's watch a mystery movie. I was like, all right, well, let me look up good ones. And I see Shutter Island on the list. I'm like, you know what? I've never actually seen this. I only ever hear good things about this movie. I'm just going to go in blind. I just know Leo's in it. Let's watch this movie. And I got to say, that's the best way to do it. This is a movie that like demands you go in blind because it's a big, let's solve the mystery. Uh-oh, didn't see that twist coming kind of movie. So
No, this is a better twist than M. Night Shyamalan's twist on God.
actually, for real, yes. This had a very good twist where me and my friend both predicted half of it halfway through. We're yelling at each other because we thought the other one was wrong and then realized, oh, we're both correct. So it was pretty cool. I gotta say the only downside of this movie is there's a couple sequences where it's like the green screen looks kind of shitty. But other than that, I didn't really have any complaints. This was a very enjoyable movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good show. I mean, movie.
Movie, yeah.
It's a good movie.
But
I haven't seen it in a while. That's another movie I feel like I wouldn't mind seeing after a while.
I feel like when you know the twist, it probably has the level of being interesting to watch from the perspective of knowing what's really going on.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna want to rewatch this down the road.
Tim, have you seen this movie?
Nope. That's why I haven't said anything. I never watched it.
Damn, you should watch it. It's pretty
Why?
good.
It's a horror movie.
Shutter Island.
It's a thriller.
It's not. I wouldn't call it a horror. I hate horror movies. I wouldn't call this a horror movie.
Advertisements made it look like it was a scary horror movie, and I was like, no, thank you.
Why don't you?
It's
Why
not-
do you? What's wrong with horror movies though? I mean, it's not a horror movie, but it's a thriller.
It's not horror.
Thriller, I'm fine with. Horror, I've never been into.
It has
at
maybe
all.
like a single jump scare, but it's not like a bloody jump scare. It's like a oh, what's that guy doing standing in that doorway? So no, not a horror.
That's fine, but the ads for this movie when it was coming out made me think spooky. Don't watch.
Oh, I did too. That's why I avoided it. But when
What's wrong with spooky? Don't watch though.
I'm just never been a fan.
I don't like scary.
Why? Because you a little bitch? Is that?
I don't like pooping my pants. I like enjoying it.
Yeah, at least Freeman's real about it. I respect that.
What do you mean? I just said I don't like spooky.
Oh man, I don't understand how everybody gets scared of stuff.
Well, hey, the flip side of that is I happily went and watched that Barbarian movie when I was visiting Opal, and we saw that in an empty theater. That was just fun. But that also wasn't that scary of a movie. It was just kind of spooky.
No. I could give you some good horror movies now.
Yeah, no thanks.
I
mean, Tyler, I've watched The Exorcist. I've watched that. That's a good
big
movie.
spooky. It's not. It's not.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, a lot of those movies just never held up. Like, I don't think that movie held up.
Damn, doesn't even hold up.
Nope. It really doesn't. Can't convince me otherwise.
I think you're wrong.
That's that's fine. Says the guy who doesn't watch horror movies. So,
Yep.
All right, Michelle doesn't watch horror movies either.
Haha, get wrecked.
Yeah,
Sure,
I gotta
Dr.
watch horror
Strangelove.
movies.
That's a thriller.
I could. Why? I should, but I got other stuff I gotta watch. I gotta catch up on my anime stories.
Did Lego?
But instead, I've been watching was it a normie shit like Severance? So
tell me what you're thinking of it, because I want to watch this show.
How do I describe it? It's honestly some weird shit. But the premise for those of you at home, it's basically like it feels like someone pitched a Black Mirror episode and it didn't get picked up, but someone else liked it and they're like, we're gonna fund a whole show behind this concept. So basically, it's about this guy or it's about this company, and they do this thing called Severance where you go in and there's a chip in your brain that basically kind of like activates another self that is only cognizant in the workplace environment. And that workplace consciousness is not privy to, like, they don't know anything about like their outside persona, also called their outie.
They're Audi.
Yeah, their outie and the outie and the innie. They don't know anything about each other, so it's supposed to be a way of um company like secrets not being let out. And they also do these very vague tasks that they don't know the purpose of it. They just know that like it does something. So, unlike, I think I talked about Silo this year, which I think Silo was very good, but like it's got like a mystery. Like this does. Severance has a mystery about it. It stars the guy from Parks and Rec, Adam Scott. He's pretty good. The acting is pretty good. We thought overall like it was good, but we were upset with the lack of answers that we got by the end of the season. Like, I really liked the visuals. The visuals, like the the whoever like did the director of photography, like the scenes were shot very well. It was a very well made show. The writing I think was a bit, you know, to be like left wanting, but I don't know. I like honestly, Freeman, I don't know if you should watch it or not. Like the first season, like it's good, it's weird, but like by the end, you still don't really know anything, and like they don't really give you anything to go off of either. But if you like weird shit, then yeah, I would say go for it.
Gotcha.
Another thing. Oh yeah, I can finally talk about Final Fantasy 16.
Yay.
I beat it.
Woo.
I'm sad.
Sad because of the story or sad because of the gameplay?
Thought good. I don't
Hold on.
rate it though.
I don't know if you dropped that. I couldn't hear what you started saying.
Oh. Oh no, is it doing it? It might be doing it.
Oh yeah, Tyler's
no.
Robo.
I hate it.
Robobodo. We heard that.
Damn,
I
you
hate
really
it
hated
perfectly.
Final Fantasy 16?
Hold on.
I
It
hate
might
it.
be. It. Hold on. I guess just skip.
Oh no, it's happening.
And he's gone.
Well.
Damn. All right, so we got what are we talking about here?
I can talk about a movie.
I would say we shouldn't have left this to just the Tyler talks about Tyler stuff section.
No, it's fine. I can talk about one more movie.
Go for it.
The week before watching Doctor Strangelove and Django, Val and I randomly decided to throw on a movie, or I had the idea to put on a movie that I've kind of had swirling in the back of my mind for a while as wanting to watch. And it was The Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix. And this movie actually comes from Sony Animation, who are the people who famously have done these Spider-Verse movies. And I was actually blown away by how much I enjoyed this movie.
Oh, this one? Was it actually good?
I thought it was excellent. Val and I both cried a couple times during the movie because, you know, Henry, it's a family thing. But even without that, it's a great story. And the style and animation is awesome. We really enjoyed this. I would highly recommend anybody who enjoyed the Spider-Verse movies or who enjoys a good family movie like that has a good plot. This is a great one. Val and I both really gave this a big thumbs up. If Sony Animation hadn't made the Spider-Verse movies, I would say this is definitely their best movie.
Goddamn.
I know Leslie is in a similar boat where she said this is an excellent movie also. So
Yes.
It's a real good one. Sorry, Tyler, we filled the air while you were trying to get back.
No, that's totally okay. I like Leslie recommended this movie, you did, so I'm like, I guess I'll give it a try at some point.
It really is fun. But go ahead, Tyler. You can talk about Final Fantasy now.
Oh, that's fine. I thought overall it was good. I thought the combat was just meh. Overall, I don't think it was anything like super stellar, but like it was fun. The story was good. I liked the story. It had a lot like deep lore. Fucking game
Yes.
has so much lore. I don't like how it ended though.
Why?
Is it spoilery?
Oh.
I like
I can step away if need be.
no, I'm trying to describe it. Like it's sad.
Is it a
Like
bittersweet ending? Or is it just bitter?
it is pretty bitter. Like I'm trying to really describe it because like they explain it. They explain like it's a sad ending, but they explain why it had to be sad.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, did it really have to be though? Like, did I have to be this sad? Like, does it gotta be? I don't know. Like, something about it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Um, but overall, I liked it though. Um, like the story, I thought overall the story was good. As far as the game itself though, I don't think it was super stellar or anything to like really write home about. But I did enjoy it though.
All right.
Like, it's not what I would consider a quote banger. I think I liked Final Fantasy 15 better.
Hmm.
As far as like current ones that came out, I think
Really?
the 7 remake is better so far.
I can sort of agree. As someone who's only, I guess, a little more than a third of the way through the game, I still am not connecting it to the same way I did with 15 or having as much fun as I did with 7.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's what I really liked though. I really liked this direction that they went with. I even though I think the combat's like kind of whatever, I appreciate that they went in a completely different direction with not only the gameplay but the tone of the story. They were definitely trying to go for, I think, a more Western audience with this. And not just because like it appeals to like because like, um, and I'm gonna talk about it shortly, but like I've been on a huge like grim dark, fantasy kick recently. Ever since like, I was kind of, was it Michelle and I read these Garth and Nick's books, the Aberson series. We read like the 3 books, and I was like, "Yo, Grimdark is kind of my thing right now." So I'm listening to the first Law series. So it came around like right when like just to tickle that certain spot of like Grimdark. Um, and so yeah, like I was really digging it. I like the theme. And it's definitely like not what I was expecting.
Hmm.
And I like it though, and the characters, like all the characters are like pretty cool too. I like the characters. There's like a lot of good things that like I enjoy about it, but yeah, like that's pretty much it. Like if you like Final Fantasy, it's actually really funny. I've said this multiple times. It's the most Final Fantasy not Final Fantasy I've ever played.
Hmm.
I don't know if you agree with that so far, Freeman, or not.
Sort of. It definitely feels like something else, but like it is distinctly in its blood Final Fantasy.
Yeah, like all the story beats are there. It's like, oh, here's this inherent evil. Oh, there's clearly a bigger evil. They have darkness. But here's the thing. They have a concept like when you learn, like I really liked some of these story elements and how the world was created. Because they have like in this Final Fantasy, they have like a definitive way, like reason and why this world was like created. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty wild. It's not like the most, I guess, original thing, but I really liked it though. And I thought it was like really good. Um, yeah, like overall, I think the story was really good though. Like I give it glowing marks except the ending, but like I think overall, like it was good. Like the experience was good. I like how they tried new things. I think the combat could be refined a little bit more. I know this is like their first real foray into this kind of combat system, so like it makes sense.
Hmm.
That's all I got for Final Fantasy 16.
All right, we'll touch on it again when if and when I finally get to the end of this game.
Yeah, if and when you finally beat it, I do want to know how you feel about it. My buddy who is he's also a huge Final Fantasy fan. Like him and I, like he basically got me into the series, into Final Fantasy games. He really enjoyed it too. So like which to me also says a lot. Like because he's been like when I mean like this man has a problem. Like he played through the international version for like Final Fantasy X. Um, he like he does shit like beating Kingdom Hearts 2 on proud mode like he's a fucking loser. Um, and he really enjoyed it. So, uh, in the interest of time, oh, you talked about Mitchell's, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All we got is the
Um,
last 2 things of yours, and we're done.
oh yeah. So I finished listening to Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. It's the standalone novel in the First Law series. Because I finished the trilogy and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going. I like this series. Let's keep it going. So I downloaded that. I thought it was pretty good. Honestly, if anybody wanted to read this, it's a standalone novel. You don't really need like they have characters from the trilogy, but they're not important to the story. So if you ever wanted to like give this like author a try, it's pretty good. It's supposed to be a fantasy novel. It's not really. Like I equate this to like early Game of Thrones where like they dangle the fantasy in front of you. Like they let you know that it's there, but they don't show you. That's my only real negative of this series so far.
Gotcha.
Where like it's supposed to be a fantasy, it's classified as fantasy. They let you know it's there, but like it's not there. Actually, that was a big mark for me in Final Fantasy 16 because in a lot of stories like fantasy stories, I feel like magic isn't used as like an everyday thing, like a common thing. And um like they just don't touch on that. Like like for example, I'm watching Charmed right now, right? They don't like I mean the whole show is revolved around magic, but a lot of their stuff like doesn't revolve around like doing magic to do like common things and like they give an explanation for it, but I just think it's kind of lame. It's like, yo, I'm watching or I'm experiencing this fantasy thing. Like, why don't I get that? Like, I think Dresden does a good job of that. Like, even though it's supposed to be like like magic is a secret hush hush thing, like he's literally using magic every time you see him. Final Fantasy does that a good job too. Like their whole world, like even Sid's mission, right? He doesn't want to have people that are using magic to be used like tools anymore, right? Like and their society runs completely on utilizing these people that can use magic. But like you don't get that in the First Law series. But I enjoy it for the writing though. Like the writing is good, the characters are good, the plot's good.
Cool.
So that's why I'm still like doing that. And I watched the Little Mermaid remake because Michelle wanted to watch it. I'll keep it. Huh?
What a note to end on.
I know, right? Of all the things. This might be a hot take.
Oh.
But it's comparable to the animated movie.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
High praise.
Yeah. They gave my only negative is the guy who they got to play Eric. I don't think he was that good, nor was I think he well written, but the singing was good and they did not deviate a bit from the source material.
Huh.
Like they changed a few things, but like it's nothing that like I thought like grossly changed the story. Like they made Ursula Trident's sister, cousin or something like that, but like it doesn't have like any impact on the story. If anything, it makes it feel more like Hercules than anything.
Oh, okay.
Like where it's like, oh, Hades was put there when he's like, yo, I could have been partying it up with you guys, but I'm down here in hell, like that kind of like vibe. But aside from that, I thought it was like not bad. But I also don't think you're missing anything if you don't pick it up.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, I think with that, since we're almost at 2 hours and we're running extra late because we started late, I think we can end there. But for next time, we will be back in the near future. But until then, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.